Cafe Wish podcast. This is your host, Cabin Black Discovery, and which was a legal tool and a religious tool, and you already explained it. Now we're deconstructing right now, right? And it was produced by the Crown and by the Church together. The Crown represented the legality. The Church represented the doctrine, the faith. Together, they were making money, and they stole everything from the indigenous. Everything, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Just what I've said earlier. The indigenous people was being used and colonized. Right now, I was thinking maybe we're good. Black are good. Based on the study that we have, because why they will do that on the indigenous people? They just wanted to be on top while we are really on top.
All right, so we're gonna pivot. We're still in the same.
Yeah.
Um, we're not digressing back to the original talking points that we were, or the part of the interview, the first part of the interview, because we did um, make we definitely switched gears, but we're still now we're gonna pivot, but we're still in the same gear. Okay. Uh, what color when the conquistadors, the Spaniards, and Magellan, when they came here to the Philippines, what color was the Jesus, the angels? What color was God?
Oh, that's a very good question. The indigenous people before, even me, the indigenous people, is black. And Roman brought us the saints, the fiestas, but specifically in saints up until today, the color, you know what? It's white. So we were growing up, um, you know, I was imagining in my head that, oh, when you go to heaven, you wouldn't see any black Jesus. Or when you go to heaven, you won't see any black angels. Because in the churches and anything like that, you will, growing up, I see only, white saints. I don't know, just happened nowadays because in Quiapo, in Manila, we have Black Nazareth. So that's why I have really faith on that saints up to this day, because all of the Roman Catholic here in the Philippines, when they go to Quiapo and they pray to Black Nazareth, that's celebrating every January 6th to be exact. All of the prayers come through. And right now I was thinking like, oh, when I pray to white Jesus, uh why my wishes doesn't come through, but when I pray to Black Nazareth, all of the prayers come true. So I was, confused. Who is really the God? Is it the God with the white skin, or is it the God with the black skin? So before, indigenous people, we Filipino is black. But when the Roman came over and took us, slaves, we were raised that God is white.
Okay. Um, so thank you for that passionate response. I really enjoyed your
Uh,
response just now. Okay. So let's talk about the Renaissance. Have you heard of the Renaissance?
give me an idea. Mhm.
Or just have you heard the term? Let's
Yeah,
just
I just heard its term.
okay. So let's look up right here, right now, what the Renaissance is, right? Let's get a source. And then I'm going to ask another question after that, all right? This is coming from so the Renaissance. Renaissance. All right. So the Renaissance, this definition is coming from encyclopedia.britannica.com. All right. Renaissance, period in European civilization, immediately following the Middle Ages and conventionally held to have been characterized by a surge of interest in classical scholarship and values. The Renaissance also witnessed the discovery and exploration of new continents, the substitution of the Copernican, Copernican and Ptolemaic system of astronomy, the decline of feudal system, and the growth of commerce, and the invention or application of such potentially powerful innovations as paper, printing, and the mariner's compass and gunpowder. To the scholars and thinkers of the day, however, it was primarily a time of the revival of classical learning and wisdom after a long period of cultural decline and stagnation. All right. The term Middle Ages was coined by scholars in the 15th century to designate the interval between the downfall of the classical world of Greece and Rome and its rediscovery at the beginning of their own century, a revival in which they felt they were participating. So, do you understand what that is?
Yes.
So I just want to give you a snapshot of, now let's kind of break this down really quickly. Renaissance is a French term that means rebirth, right? That's established. Okay. And this point was the term Middle Ages was coined by scholars in the 15th century to designate the interval between the downfall of the classical world of Greece and Rome and its rediscovery at the beginning of their own century, a revival in which they felt they were participating. So, rebirth of what? White Roman and imperial power, a rebirth of white Euro Greece power. So, what is the Renaissance really? The rebirth of white Euro imperial power. But wait a minute. If it needed to be reborn, then what happened to it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If something has to be found, then that means it was what?
Yeah.
So they have a lost and found. So let me ask the question one more time. If something has to be found, then that means that it was what?
It was lost. Yeah.
So something, I ask one more time. Because something that was found, that means it was what?
It was lost.
So it was lost. If something that had to be rediscovered, it means what?
Rebirth.
It has to be rediscovered. That means it was
lost.
So if I have to rediscover something, that means that the discovery of the knowledge of discovery was what? Lost. If I have to rebirth something, that means what? Something perished, right?
Yeah.
So that means that there was an era, a time period that had what? Been what? If something has to be found, it's because something was what?
Lost.
If something has to be rediscovered, that means the discovery of something was what?
Lost.
If something had to be rebirthed, then that means that something was what? Perished, right?
Yeah, it will perish.
So Renaissance means rebirth. So what were they rebirthing? White Euro power. White Euro Roman Imperial.
I think white Euro Greek.
White Euro Roman power. White Euro Greece power.
Yes.
Now they called it what? The Middle Ages because it was a time period between gaps between what?
Power.
So, don't get ahead. Don't get ahead. So, what happened during the Middle Age, during the gap? What was that called? Do you know the ages? You call it the Middle Ages or what? It's
Mm.
two. It's two. The Dark Ages. Have you heard of the Dark Ages?
Yeah, but it was a different story.
Ah, it's a different story,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
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 yeah.
right. So you have the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. So what was ruling? Who was ruling? Who was in power? Right? Somebody has to be in power. Right? That's how it works. If something is out of power, then that means something has to be in power.
Power.
Right? So who was in power? You said it already.
Yeah, the white people.
Who was in power during the gap? The gaps between the period between white Euro Roman, white Euro Greece, when they fell out of power and they tried, not tried, but they were successful in the Renaissance of trying to bring back their power. That means between the gaps, who was in power? You said it. You said it already.
Yeah, the black people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We were we were.
We
We were.
were in Europe.
Yeah, and you're
Okay. Did you know that?
yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah, because the reason this is what I've heard, the reason why um they created that kind of era, they created that kind of tools like Roman Catholic or anything like that. They just use it the tools just to defeat the black people because we were on top.
And it said that they created maritime and the compass, right?
Hmm.
That's a lie. Who created the compass?
Yeah, Asians.
Who created the compass?
Asians.
Who created the compass?
Asian.
Okay. Who created the first boat?
The black people.
Are
The
Asians
black.
black?
Yeah, Asians. Asian black people.
Okay, but what type of black people?
African people, like the African
Ah,
color. Yeah, African
African
color. Yeah,
people.
people. Hmm.
So the compass was created by who?
African.
No.
Nah, Asian. But you
Just follow along, follow
yeah,
along. Relax, relax, relax.
it's a different.
Who created
Uh huh.
the compass?
Asian.
Who created the first boat?
Asian. African.
Africans. Okay.
Uh,
So did you know what Africans created the first boat?
just today.
Okay.
Mhm.
The earliest boat, just give you some information. The earliest boat that was found ever created was in Nigeria.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the original maritime maps and lines were created by African people. The ships were created by African people, but the compass was created by who? The
Mm,
compass was created by who?
Asian.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you
Asian.
did you know Asians created the compass?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were the one who created the compass for that.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
So a part of deconstruction is breaking things
Yeah,
down
yeah.
and in order to get it right, to align it, to make it, because you need a test, right, or you need something that is a constant, right? When you're deconstructing, you need a constant, right? Something to weigh it against as you're deconstructing. So that would be the actual facts in history versus what was told or said, right? So and you need, so basically deconstructing, if I can, it's like sifting. Do you know what sifting is?
Mm,
So on farms, like there's a lot of farms here in the Philippines, correct?
yeah, especially in Luzon.
In Luzon. So let's say in Luzon, someone is sifting wheat or grains or whatnot, right? So they have a mechanical or machine that it's a tool. It's not really a machine, but it's more of a mechanism. It's like a bowl shape, right? You hold it with two hands and you place the material, the products or the particle of the wheat. Wheat has chaff and all that other stuff and has like dirt and grass, whatnot, as well. When you put it in the sifting, it's like a filter, and you sift because you go back and forth, and it's dividing, or it's removing, it's dividing the pure seeds
Okay.
from the waste.
Yeah.
The waste would be the chaff, the grass,
The
the
leaves.
dirt,
Yeah,
the
the dirt.
leaves, right? And because you want the pure, so that's what deconstruction does. Deconstruction, or that's what good deconstruction is supposed to do. It's supposed to break down what, in this regard, in religion, deconstructing that, it's supposed to break down what's what versus what is mythology, what is said, what's a lie, right? Versus what's a fact, what's a truth, and what's reality. Okay. Good deconstruction is supposed to do that. All right. So we destruction. So let's do a count. We deconstructed history, right? We told history about how the Filipino people were introduced to Catholicism versus the mythology of what was told to you of how it was introduced. Oh, they just it's the way of life, and everything was great. It was flowers and rainbows, and they were wicked. The Filipino indigenous people were wicked. They were crazy. They were out of their minds. They were butt naked, crapping on each other, acting wild and crazy. No, that's mythology. Mythology is not all bad, but it's depending on what it's used for. Let me just take a moment here just to address mythology. Mythology is storytelling mixed with some facts, mixed with some story, right? That's mythology mixed with facts mixed with storytelling or interpretation of a story. That's what a mythology is. All to drive home what? A point. All to drive home what? A narrative. To educate. Because people learn best through what? Stories, right?
Yeah.
So that's what mythology does. You can learn mathematics in stories. You can learn religion in stories. You can learn truths in stories. You can learn morality in stories. That's the point of mythologies. You can understand universal principles. You can understand science, chemistry, all in mythology. You can understand mathematics. You can understand chemicals, compounds, biology, physiology, sociology, all through mythology. It's how humans communicate. It's a part of our social engineering as human beings because we are sociable creatures. That's our human nature. Nature versus nurture. That's our nature and our nurture is to communicate. And how we communicate through stories. So going back to deconstruct, so we deconstructed how the Filipino people received Catholicism. We deconstructed where it came from. Then we talked about how it was formed. White Euro. We're talking about the white Euro Christianity. We're not talking about Christianity. We're not talking about Catholicism as such. We're talking about the white, because the topic is what? Deconstruction of faith and religion, the impact of white Eurocentric Christianity in the black psyche. Right. So this is what we at so far. We're reaching our hour. And we're going to carry on this conversation another day. Yes. Thank you so much for uh, just coming out and blessing me and helping me break this thing on down. So you have been great. I appreciate you. You're a really good friend. You're so smart. You're so much an intellectual. You've been fun. Um, so I'm gonna give the mic back over to you, and you just go ahead and close us out here. I'll give you the last word, okay? Mm-hmm. Close it out any way you want. But when you close it out, let's just remember to say this: be smart, be happy, be healthy. Say whatever you need to say. I'll remind you if you need.
What was that again? Be smile.
Be smart.
Be smart. Be happy and be healthy. That's a good one. Okay. And thank you so much. That's gonna be a good code for every day. Being smart because Anyway, this is Scarlett. It was nice as well to share some ideas and to learn more by the way, because when we grow up, you really needed some information as well. And if somebody will ask you something, you have also the information or ideas or things that you can tell. And this is not like a story or mythology, but this is about, you know, facts that we're talking about. And I am so happy, by the way, for this conversation. Looking forward, by the way, for more. And I would always say about this famous Latin quote, hagas loque, hagahas prosohe. Siyempre, espejo reflecta ego mañana. So I would gonna end of this conversation with that say, it's just simply, it just simply means that no matter what you do today, would always be a mirror and a reflection for your tomorrow because you are always the captain of your ship. Thank you. And be smart, be happy, and be always healthy. I think I needed to put that way because especially right now, on the situations that we have, so we have to always put always. So I think be smart always and be Happy always and be smart. I be healthy as always. Thank you so much. This is Scarlett, by the way. I'm gonna give back to Handsome Kevin the microphone, or I'm gonna good. Okay.
Thank you once again. I was going to let you get the last word, but I appreciate you giving me the mic. This is Kevin Black, your host of Cafe Witch Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.